Welcome to another episode, everyone. He did 5 years in the federal penitentiary. And when he came home, his young son shot and unalived him. He came home looking to rebuild his life and rebuild his family, but did not understand the turmoil that his son was going through. And by the time he realized it, it was too late.
When I say the Lord is a blessing in my life, been home 197 days, own house, own job, I'm at peace, own everything.
I've been gone 5 years, man. It's a blessing, man. Like, learn how to control your emotions, man. Like, we gotta start being parents, man.
St. Louis County Police say they found a man dead in a home. A 15-year-old suspect is now facing second-degree murder charges.
Most people who watched the birthday party video walked away talking about the father. But the person I couldn't stop watching was the son. Something was very wrong with that boy, and not one adult in that room stopped to ask what it was. When I say the Lord is a blessing in my life, been home 197 days, own house, own job, I'm at peace, own everything. 34.
Yeah, and that's what a lot of people were saying when this story broke, that the child, that video had sort of went viral, of the birthday party with the son sitting there, as we can see, perhaps in distress or depressed, or certainly not happy to be attending his own birthday party. I believe it was his birthday party, not the father. And a lot of money sitting around him, people throwing money at him and what have you, but he's not there partying and laughing and dancing and eating cake. He's sitting down on a couch by himself, twisting on his hair and looking a bit melancholy, solemn. Some people were saying when the story broke that they hoped that the father had not abused the child. I don't want to put this on the father. I'm just saying a lot of people were speculating, saying something was wrong with the child. No one checked on the child. And money doesn't mean everything. That the father was throwing birthday parties and giving them gifts and making these posts about how happy he is to be home and how good he's doing financially, essentially. But not necessarily tending to the son, seeing what's wrong with him emotionally, and that money doesn't make you a parent and a father. Just letting you know some of the things that were being said. You let me know what you think in the comments. But as we can see, this man did 5 years in the penitentiary system, came home to his child, his 15-year-old son, and looking to, again, rebuild himself and rebuild his life. But his son had other ideas and took him out.
4-year-old Jonathan Brown came home after 5 years in federal prison, got his own place, opened a barbershop, and threw his oldest son the biggest birthday he could afford. And from where he was standing, he was doing everything a father coming home should do.
St. Louis County Police say they found a man dead in a home. A 15-year-old suspect is now facing second-degree murder charges.
2 weeks later, that same son shot him in his head while he slept and took his car. There are people who watched this story and called that boy ungrateful. And there are people who watched it and said something much darker was going on in that house. That hug right there is the only moment in the entire video where that boy looks like himself. And that detail alone tells you this story goes deeper than a teenager having a bad attitude. The signs were there, and nobody asked. Jonathan Brown, known as John John, was a St. Louis barber, a father of 3 boys, and by every account, a man who was genuinely hard to forget. He also made a decision in 2019 that sent him to federal prison for 5 years. And those 5 years cost him more than his freedom. They cost him his son. Hey everyone, please like and subscribe before we continue. Now let's get back to it. It started with a stop sign. In March 2019, St. Louis police tried to pull over a car that ran a stop sign, and instead of stopping, the vehicle fled, and Jonathan was in it. Officers chased it through residential neighborhoods. It eventually stopped. Jonathan and another man ran on foot, and a witness saw Jonathan toss something into a trash can while he was running. That trash can had a gun in it. And because Jonathan already had a felony conviction from 2013, that gun turned a street chase into a federal case. The court determined his prior conviction qualified as a crime of violence. His sentencing range went up, and Jonathan Brown went to federal prison. He served 5 years, and when he left, Legend was 9 years old. When he came home, Legend was 14. 5 years sounds like a number until you put it against a child's age. Jonathan left when Legend was 9, and he came home when Legend was 14. And in between those two ages, Legend had already caught a case, allegedly part of an armed carjacking at 13 years old. 3 teenagers, 1 gun, a man ordered out of his Mercedes at gunpoint in Berkeley, Missouri. They were caught, but because they were juveniles, the details stayed sealed, and most people never connected that story to Jonathan Brown's son.
Being a part of a trio who did an armed carjacking. Now, even though the news article did not give the names of who were involved because they're juveniles, here's the photo they put out, and the person in the middle is said to be Legend. According to the
Wow, and that's what happens when you leave your child at 9 years old. Very formative years that they can be under the influence of the street culture, gang culture, criminal culture, without the proper guidance and direction. Yes, the mother is there apparently, but the father is not. The data shows that a 2-parent household rearing the child has a greater rate of success, a greater potential for success than a child being raised in a single-parent household. And if the father is locked up, then the child is being raised in a single-parent household. You can do what you can from prison, but you can only do so much. So perhaps we can get a glimpse into why this child ended up in the street. I mean, at 13 years old, had already caught a case, a carjacking case at 13 years old. And at 15 years old, we know what he ultimately did. Put one in his father's head while his father was asleep.
news article, it stated that Berkeley police were asking for the public's help identifying 3 suspects in an armed carjacking. The Berkeley Police Department opened an investigation on a Saturday at around 3 p.m. after a 2014 Mercedes E350 was carjacked from the 6400 block of Evergreen Boulevard. Police said there were 3 suspects that were captured on surveillance tape, and one of them was armed with a dark brown semi-automatic pistol. The group ordered a man out of the Mercedes at gunpoint and drove away in the vehicle. Ultimately, the 3 suspects were caught, but what punishment they received is unknown.
So when Jonathan came home in early 2025, he wasn't just stepping back into his son's life. He was walking into a situation that had already been moving without him for years. And Legend had already gone places Jonathan didn't even know about yet. And Jonathan came home ready to fix all of it. When I say the Lord is a blessing in my life, been home 197 days, own house, own job, I'm at peace, own everything. Lord, I get on here to thank you for always having my back. Just want to thank you for everything you've been doing for me. All I want is to be a great father to my boys and teach them morals and to be spiritual, because without God, I'm nothing. There is nothing I haven't been through that I cannot prevent them from going through what I went through because I lived it. Got my own everything. All bills in my name after 4 years and 10 months locked up. I stay in my house and all my bills are zero. Thank you to Almighty God, but thank you, Lord. Listen to that man. He is counting days since he got home, and every single one of them matters to him. And all he keeps coming back to is his kids. He was posting constantly his gratitude, his progress, and his boys. One post about Legend read, had him go to summer school through spring break to get caught up, and he did it. Tears of joy. I'm so proud of you, Fat Daddy. Now let's go to the 12th grade, get a high school diploma, and go to college. I love you, son. Another one said, first, I want to thank God for allowing me to be in my son's life and show him the morals and principles he need to make it through life. And then, on Christmas Day 2025, he got on Facebook Live, and what he said that day is the part that stays with you when you know how the story ends.
I think.
Well, we'll see what he says right now, but that's why you really have to do your own homework, find out what really happened in this situation and in any situation, because still more to go here, but it doesn't, for the sort of criticism that the father was seemingly receiving when the story broke, the backlash almost with people speculating as to why the child Legend would do this. A 15-year-old would unalive his father while his father slept in bed. What was really going on in the house? The narrator here even referenced that. What was going on in the house? Something was going on. You see the child sitting over there depressed at his own birthday bash. But I don't know. Right now, I'm seeing a father who apparently is a doting father. We don't know what was happening behind closed doors. At least I do not. But he's making a lot of posts. And he's mentioning his children in every post. He has 3 sons. He's mentioning them. He's taking care of them. He seems to be proud of the fact that he's self-sufficient after leaving prison. That's understandable. Has his barbershop and what have you. And he said, I have my own this, my own everything. And I'm paying all of the bills. The bills are zero. And he's thanking God for this. Doesn't necessarily seem arrogant. He's thanking God, and he's talking about his child and graduating high school and everything else. He seems to be involved and caring about his children and his child. But again, that can just be on the surface. I mean, I don't know. Something has to explain what happened there.
Gone 5 years, man. It's a blessing, man. I don't give a give you no gift, man. Be thankful, man, that they still here, man. We just lost, man. R.I.P. Mimi, man. We just lost somebody that was a good one. Like, man, people ain't promised a day or more, man. Like, cherish your people, man. Love your people, man. Like, let y'all emotions go, man. Like learn how to control your emotions, man. Like, we gotta start being parents, man. We gotta start being a person with knowledge and wisdom, man. Like,
13 days after that, his son shot him in his head while he slept. December 15th, 2025, Legend's 15th birthday, and Jonathan went all out. He posted beforehand, "My son finna be 15 of mine. Thank you, Lord, for letting me be with my son. Next year, big 16. It's going down." And on the day he wrote, "Yeah, I wish my son birthday. Happy birthday, son. You big 15 now. Daddy love you. Man, you need to grow up and stop being shy. Love you. Doing all that crazy talking like I don't do nothing for my boy. Give the world to my little boys." Now that line, doing all that crazy talking like I don't do nothing for my boy, somebody had been on Jonathan's page saying he wasn't showing up for his son, and Jonathan was defending himself publicly. Given the ongoing conflict between him and Legend's mother over co-parenting, that's probably not a coincidence. But instead of having that conversation privately, Jonathan threw a party. And what happened at that party is the part of this story that nobody can stop talking about.
I'm trying to see what your wish gonna be like. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you. So it seems like perhaps he was exposing this on the internet, that the fact that he was throwing this party for his son, that at the party recorded, not saying the father just recorded, anyone could have been in there recording. The kids have phones and they record all of the time, of course, but it seems like the father was receiving some sort of criticism online about not showing up for his child, and then he started making these posts. Maybe perhaps that's why he started making the post. That's when he started making the post. Oh, son, I love you. Or your 15th birthday coming up, big 16 next year. In the high school this, and you're doing good in school. And then throws this bash publicly, and publicizes it via the internet that he threw this big birthday bash for his child, perhaps trying to silence the critics who are saying he hasn't been there for a son or he's not there for a son. But still doesn't nullify the fact that perhaps something else was going on inside of that home or something. Why did his son do this?
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear legend. Happy birthday to you. Yeah, y'all better stop playing with my son, man. Let me see, my daddy. Let me see. Hey, turn around, my daddy. Okay. Go on in, my daddy.
The first thing most people noticed was that Legend never smiled. Not once. Money raining down, designer clothes head to toe, family all around him. And that boy walked through the entire party with his head down like he was carrying something nobody else could see. Now, there are people who watched that and called him ungrateful and spoiled. And on the surface, that reaction makes sense. His father just came home from 5 years in prison, threw him everything he had, and Legend could barely look at him. But watch this. That boy flinched away from his own father, not from a stranger, not from someone he didn't know, from the man who just threw him a birthday party. And that reaction, combined with the fact that not one adult in that room stopped to ask him what was wrong, changes the entire picture. The one real moment in that whole party, the only time Legend looked like he was actually present, was when his little brother came and hugged him. And he held on to that kid like he needed it more than anything else in that room. And nobody else gave him that. There were no friends there, no one his age, just a room full of adults, and a father who kept the camera going the entire time. Jonathan posted after, "First off, I want to thank the Lord for making all things possible for me and all my boys. Today's your day, Fat Daddy. Daddy loves you. My son's the big 15. Y'all wish my son, my right hand, my best friend, my backbone."
Okay, so there were no other children there. I thought perhaps, he had Legend had some of his friends there, other 14-year-old, 15-year-old, perhaps 16-year-olds who were videotaping his birthday bash. Instead, we find out that the room was full of adults. The father was holding the camera the whole time videotaping. We did see him sort of flinch at his father. Certainly didn't hug him or embrace him when his father went to reach for him, whatever it is that his father was doing there. Hindsight is 2020. Of course, we can look at everything in the past and look at every video and break it down and say, oh yeah, it looked like he wasn't happy there and here. And perhaps that's what, I don't know. Some people are going to have an opinion that he was ungrateful regardless. And some people are going to continue to wonder what was going on in the home that would cause a 15-year-old to do this to his father.
A happy motherfucking birthday. Turn up. He thought that party was a win, and Legend went home with whatever he had been carrying still sitting on him, and nobody had asked him about it once.
St. Louis County Police investigating a deadly shooting in North County. Officers were called to a home on Glengarry Road in Glasgow Village just before 5 tonight. They found a man shot to death.
On January 7th, 2026, Jonathan went to sleep in his own home, and his son shot him in the head while he slept. Police arrived just before 5 p.m. to the 10,800 block of Glengarry Road. No forced entry, no struggle, and no defensive injuries. The violence came from inside the house, and Jonathan never had a chance to respond. Earlier that day, the two had gotten into an argument. Jonathan had corrected him about something, and by every indication, Jonathan thought nothing more of it after that. But Legend did not forget. 4 days after the shooting, Legend Brown was arrested and taken into custody, charged with second-degree murder and armed criminal action. And after he shot his father, Legend took Jonathan's car, the same boy who, at 13, had carjacked a man at gunpoint, walked out of his father's house at 15, and took his father's car. The cycle did not break. It just came home. Most of the case is sealed. Legend was 15. The juvenile system does not open its doors to the public, and as of now, there is no word on whether he will be charged as an adult. The record ends at the arrest. What happened in that house, what Legend was carrying, what he never said out loud, that may be the part of this story that never gets told. Let me be straight with you. Jonathan Brown tried, and the evidence of that is real. He came home, built something, stayed present. And a man who did time with him said after he died, Brody came home and stayed focused this time, and all he talked about was trying to build a relationship with his sons. We used to be in the hole talking about the Bible and how we were going to change our lives. John Brown was a good dude. That matters, but Jonathan came home and loved his son as loudly as he knew how. And somewhere in all that noise, he missed what Legend was actually telling him every single day. The party, the camera, the clothes, the money. Jonathan thought that was fatherhood. And maybe it was the only version of it he knew how to give, but it was not what Legend needed. And nobody in that circle slowed down long enough to find out what was. And that is the consequence. He knew that. He said it himself, out loud, and it still wasn't enough. Jonathan Brown was 34 years old. He had 3 sons, a barbershop, and a life he had genuinely rebuilt from nothing. And his oldest boy took all of it away in an afternoon. Someone who knew him said he was the kind of person who left a lasting impression on those around him through his presence, his heart, and the connections that he made. His life was meaningful, and his absence is felt profoundly by so many. Rest
in peace. Crazy. I don't know. This is a tough one. Let me know what you think in the comments. I mean, wow. Whoa. We'll see if they're going to keep the record sealed or not. This just happened in January of this year, as we've seen. Whoa. Took him out. His son is allegedly took him out. He's accused of this. We'll see if they're going to try him as an adult, what sort of consequences he faces, or if he's actually guilty or is going to be found guilty of this. It's not looking good. And I don't know. I can't judge the father. It seems like, you even have his old prison mate speaking out saying that he was a good dude, that he talked about the Bible all the time, and that even there in prison, inside of the hole, that he mentioned his sons often and wanted to do right by them. He talked about his children a lot there in prison, and then came home and apparently was trying to do something for his son. Doesn't seem like he was a bad dude. But again, I don't know. I don't know the particulars of the situation of the case. Obviously, the son hasn't said anything yet as far as some sort of abuse that he incurred at the hands of the father, which prompted this unaliving. We'll see. I'm sure, again, something will come out. Other than that, it would just be conjecture on all of our parts as to why the son would carry out something like this against his father. We can only speculate. The father must have been doing this. The father probably did that. What if he did nothing? What if he did none of this? What if he didn't do anything wrong? What if he really loved his children? And those posts he was making, he was really just trying to be there for his children, genuinely and sincerely, doing the best he could. He was there throwing a party. He wasn't an absentee father. He got out of prison, still had the money and the wherewithal to look out for his son with a party. I don't know. So they got into it before. We've seen this happen before. The A.J. Armstrong situation and others. They got into it, have an argument earlier that day, and the child just loses it. Maybe the father ain't did nothing wrong other than the argument they had earlier that day. I mean, I don't know. He did look sad right there at the birthday party. Didn't look like a 15-year-old would normally, I guess, who's healthy of mind and body and soul, 15-year-old at their own party. Oftentimes they're turning up some and recording themselves, got their phone out, listening to music and dancing and eating cake or whatever. He just, not really looking at how he was looking, just sitting there on the couch, not wanting to be bothered. But again, everything would be speculation. I don't know. Let me know what you all think in the comments. I can't call it. This is a tough one. Rest in peace to the father either way, and we'll see what happens with the son, with Legend, who's just 15 years old. Stay safe and stay free, people.